You've heard the stories of winners. You've seen the man who always rises. He falls, he fails, he gets rejected, and still he keeps going. What makes him different? Why doesn't he quit? Today, we reveal the mindset that makes him unstoppable. Let's be real. Everyone fails. You've failed. I've failed. The only difference is how we respond. See, most people fall and stay down. They blame. They complain. They freeze. But the unstoppable man, he fails and moves forward. Failure doesn't break him. It builds him. Why? Because he knows something most people don't. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning. Here's the truth that stings. The road to success is built with broken bricks, mistakes, setbacks, embarrassments, and the unstoppable man walks that road anyway. He doesn't hide from failure. He welcomes it. Because each failure teaches him. Each fall sharpens him. Each no prepares him for the yes. Doesn't say, why is this happening to me? He says, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in mindset, that's the difference between average and unstoppable. Let's talk about that moment. The one where your plan falls apart. When your efforts don't pay off. When you're tired, discouraged, and no one believes in you anymore. That moment breaks most people, but not him. He feels the pain. He hears the doubt. But he keeps showing up because he knows. This is the test. This is the part most people run from. But if you can stand in the fire, think about Thomas Edison. Over 1,000 failed attempts to make a working light bulb. And what did he say? I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the mindset. Or Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. He didn't quit. He trained harder. Every successful man has a backstory of failure. But the failure didn't finish him. It formed him. And not flinch. You don't just survive. You become unbreakable. Here's the truth no one tells you. If you don't quit, you win. You may not win today. You may not win tomorrow. But if you keep learning, keep trying, keep moving, you can't lose forever. Success is not a lightning strike. It's a slow burn. And the only fuel is persistence. The world will try to shake you. People will doubt you. But the only voice that matters is the one inside you saying, keep going. You're going to fail. Everyone does. But will you keep going? Will you stand when it's easier to quit? Will you show up when no one claps? Will you rise again, even when your legs shake? Because that's what makes you unstoppable. Not perfection, not talent, not luck, but the decision to keep moving forward, no matter what. So next time you fall, don't stay down. Remember him. He fails, but he never quits. He doesn't wait for motivation. He moves without it. Most people wake up and check how they feel. Do I feel like it today? Am I inspired? If I'm not motivated, maybe I should wait. But the man who becomes unstoppable, he's not controlled by how he feels. He's controlled by his decisions. He doesn't wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right moment. He moves even when he's tired, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching, because he understands something powerful. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation is like the weather. It changes. It's unpredictable. One day, you feel like conquering the world. The next, you can't even get out of bed. But discipline? That's built. That's chosen. The unstoppable man doesn't rely on moods. He builds habits that carry him, even when he feels nothing. When it's cold, he still trains. When he's discouraged, he still works. When he fails, he still shows up. That's not motivation. That's purpose. Think about it like this. If you only brushed your teeth when you felt like it, what would happen? If you only worked when it was easy, how far would you get? Success doesn't ask how you feel. Success responds to what you do. He knows that, so he doesn't wait. He moves. There's something dangerous about waiting for motivation, because sometimes it never comes. And while you're sitting, thinking, planning, someone else is doing. The unstoppable man has learned to act first. Then the feeling follows. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Most people live in reverse. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But ready is a lie. Ready is fear in disguise. He understands that the secret to progress isn't waiting for motivation. It's creating a system that works, even when he doesn't feel like working. You know what's powerful? He doesn't make it personal. He doesn't say, this is hard for me. He just says, this is what needs to be done. He treats it like breathing, routine, non-negotiable, waking up early, showing up to train, practicing the craft, making the call, finishing the task. No drama, no delay, just discipline. But don't mistake him for a robot. He's human. He gets tired. He gets discouraged. But he's mastered something rare. He moves anyway. He understands that emotions are visitors, but his mission is permanent. That's what makes him different. Not his talent, not his luck, his ability to act, regardless of how he feels. Most people think success is about feeling hyped all the time. It's not. The truth? Success is built in the boring hours, the quiet moments, the times when no one's clapping. The unstoppable man thrives in those moments because he knows that's where the real work happens. Ask yourself this: if you waited until you felt motivated to work on your dreams, how many days would you waste? The man who wins, he doesn't wait. He builds his momentum, brick by brick, step by step, even on the days it hurts, especially on the days it hurts. He's not chasing motivation. He's becoming something bigger than that. A man of action, a man of discipline, a man who can be trusted by himself. And that's what separates him. That's what makes him unstoppable. He doesn't wait for the fire. He lights it. He's not just working hard. He's working on something that matters. Most people wake up and just react to life. They check their phone, scroll, run around, chase distractions, and at the end of the day, they feel tired, but empty. But the unstoppable man, he moves with intention. Every day, he's chasing something bigger than himself, because he doesn't just have goals, he has a mission. A mission isn't just a task. It's not a to-do list. A mission is a fire in your chest that says, "This is why I'm here." That mission becomes the compass. It tells him where to go, what to say no to, and what to suffer for. When you don't have a mission, you fall for everything. You follow trends. You copy others. You wonder why you feel lost. But he's not lost, because he knows exactly what he's fighting for. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes. He gets hit by life like everyone else. But what keeps him going, what keeps him rising, is that clear mission locked in his mind. It's his why. And when your why is strong enough, the how doesn't scare you anymore. Have you ever felt like you're running hard, but going nowhere? That's what happens when you don't know what you're really aiming for. You burn out. You break down. You quit. But the unstoppable man, he's fueled by purpose, not pressure. He wakes up with direction. He says, "Today, I'm not just surviving. I'm building something that matters." That's not motivation. That's clarity. And clarity is rare. Most people are too distracted to even ask, what do I really want? What do I stand for? What would I die for? But he's answered those questions, and now he lives by them. He's not confused. He's not trying to please everyone. He's not scattered. He's focused, and that is what makes him dangerous. When life hits him with problems, he doesn't panic. He looks at the problem, then looks back at the mission, and he asks, does this help me or distract me? He's not afraid to walk away from things that waste his time. He's not afraid to be misunderstood, because when your mission is clear, you stop needing everyone's approval. You stop needing to fit in. You stop needing permission. Most men stay stuck because they haven't decided who they want to be, but he has. He's written his mission deep into his soul. It guides his habits. It shapes his mindset. It filters his choices. He's not easily shaken because he's standing on purpose. And here's the truth. When you're mission-driven, pain becomes fuel. Every failure becomes data. Every delay becomes preparation. He doesn't waste energy on drama. He saves it for the battle to grow, to lead, to become someone worth following, because his mission is bigger than his mood. The average man looks at a challenge and says, "This is too hard." But he looks at the same challenge and says, "This is worth it." That's the difference. His mission makes the sacrifice worth it. No one sees the long nights. No one sees the tears. No one sees the doubt. But he pushes forward because he knows what's on the line. He's not chasing applause. He's chasing legacy. That's why he's not distracted. That's why he doesn't quit when it's tough. That's why he outlasts others. Because his mission isn't something he made up to sound cool. It's something he believes in, deep, unshakable. And when you believe in something that strong, the world starts to move around you. So let me ask you this. What's your mission? Not your dream car, not the job title, not how many likes you want. I mean, what is the thing that would make all the pain worth it? When you know that, you stop hesitating. You stop making excuses. You stop quitting early. You move forward. You cut the noise. You show up every single day, not because it's easy, but because it matters. And that's the secret behind the unstoppable man. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't wait for permission, because he already knows he's here for a reason, and nothing is going to stop him from living it. You've seen it before. The man who stays calm in chaos, who keeps moving when others freeze, who doesn't explode when life falls apart. That man, he's not emotionless. He's just in control. Because the unstoppable man has learned something most people never do: how to master his emotions. Let's get this clear. He feels pain. He feels anger. He feels fear. But he doesn't let those emotions drive the car. Most people live as passengers. Something bad happens. They react. Someone says something. They lose it. Life pushes them, and they collapse. But him? He pauses. He breathes. He responds with power, not panic. This doesn't come easy. It's not natural. It's trained. It's earned. It's built in the fire of experience, because there was a time when even he broke down. He lost control. He made mistakes. He let emotions lead and paid the price. But he made a decision. This ends now. Mastering emotions doesn't mean becoming a robot. It means becoming a leader of yourself. When fear shows up, he doesn't run. He listens. Then he acts. When anger rises, he doesn't lash out. He learns to channel it, use it, turn it into fuel. When sadness whispers, he doesn't ignore it. He understands it, but he doesn't let it anchor him. He knows that emotions are messengers, not masters. He sees them for what they are, signals, not commands. And that changes everything, because now he chooses his response. And when you control your response, you control your life. Have you ever let a single moment of anger ruin your whole day? One text, one comment, one unexpected thing. Most people do. But the unstoppable man refuses to hand his power over that easily. He owns his emotions, so life doesn't own him. He builds this skill daily. When something small annoys him, he doesn't react. He observes. When someone disrespects him, he doesn't explode. He sets boundaries. When doubt creeps in, he doesn't drown in it. He confronts it. That's strength. That's maturity. That's power. Because emotions can be your greatest enemy or your greatest weapon. It all depends on how you use them. He uses anger to set higher standards. He uses pain to sharpen his focus. He uses fear to prepare, not panic. He turns emotional chaos into clear, intentional action. That's why he stays grounded when others fall apart. But here's the real secret. He feels deeply, sometimes too deeply. But instead of escaping, he dives in. He faces the storm. And that storm makes him sharper, wiser, more stable. You can't fake calm under pressure. You either are calm or you're not. And the only way to get there is to train your emotions like a warrior trains his mind. Emotional control is his edge. When the world is loud, he's silent. When the pressure is high, he's focused. When it hurts, he still moves forward. That's what makes him unstoppable. Not his muscles, not his bank account, not even his talent. It's his ability to stay centered when everything's falling apart. Because life will test you. People will push you. Situations will get messy. But the man who has mastered himself, he doesn't get dragged into the storm. He is the storm. And if you want to walk like him, you must stop letting feelings make your decisions. You must learn to pause, to think, to respond with wisdom, not impulse. Most men are ruled by their mood, not him. He's ruled by principle, by discipline, by vision. And if his emotions don't serve that vision, he doesn't obey them. It's not about denying feelings. It's about dominating them. So when fear whispers, "You're not good enough," he answers, "Watch me." When sadness says, "Stay in bed," he answers, "I've got work to do." When anger tries to blind him, he breathes and chooses clarity. That's the difference. That's what separates the weak from the strong, the stuck from the free, the average from the unstoppable. And it's not just about success. It's about freedom. When you master your emotions, you become free from other people's control, free from emotional traps, free from reacting to everything. You finally become the author of your story, not just a character in someone else's chaos. So, If you want to walk the path of power, learn this. Feel everything, but let nothing own you. Master yourself, and there's nothing you can't overcome. That's the real secret behind the unstoppable man. Let me tell you something most people won't say out loud. The real work, the real growth, the real transformation, it doesn't happen when the spotlight is on. It happens when no one is watching. No applause, no praise, no audience, just silence and discipline. That's where the unstoppable man is made. You won't find him bragging on social media. You won't see him showing off, because he's too busy building when no one's around to clap for him. He doesn't need attention. He doesn't need validation. He needs results. And he knows the only way to get them is to put in the work when no one is clapping. Every day he shows up. When he's tired, when he's unsure, when the world is distracted, he stays focused. Because the difference between average and unstoppable is consistency without recognition. While others rest, he rises. While others scroll, he sharpens. While others wait to feel ready, he builds, brick by brick. This kind of man understands something powerful. Success is built in the shadows, not on stages. The body you want, the business you dream of, the life you crave. They don't show up because you wished hard enough. They show up because you earned them in silence, when no one else even knew what you were doing. Let me ask you something. Have you ever given your best effort and no one noticed? Felt like your hard work was invisible, like nobody cared? Good, because that's when it really counts. When you do it anyway, when you keep going, when you choose to stay committed, not for the praise, but for the person you're becoming. That's how the unstoppable man is born. He's not fueled by followers. He's fueled by fire. He doesn't show up because someone's watching. He shows up because he said he would. That's self-respect. That's integrity. That's power. Because when you build in the dark, you earn strength that no one can see, but everyone feels. Look at the strongest people you know. Look closer. They weren't handed success. They built it in quiet rooms with tired eyes and heavy hearts. But they kept showing up, kept laying bricks, kept moving forward when it would have been easier to quit. That's the edge. That's the weapon of the unstoppable man. And here's what most people miss. The work you do alone will one day speak so loudly that the world will have no choice but to listen. You won't have to beg for attention. You won't have to prove yourself. The results will speak for you. But those results, they only come if you build when no one sees you. So while others laugh, he plans. While others party, he trains. While others doubt, he builds. And eventually, they all ask how he did it. But by then, it's too late to catch up, because he didn't just chase a goal. He became a different man, in private, in silence, in darkness. You want to know the truth? Most people give up when no one notices their effort. But the unstoppable man, that's when he turns up the heat. He uses the quiet as fuel. He uses being underestimated as a weapon. Because while the world sleeps on him, he sharpens his skills. He stacks his wins. He prepares for a life they won't even see coming. He understands something deep. You don't need to be seen right now. You need to become undeniable. And that takes time. That takes grit. That takes the kind of effort that no one else is willing to give. Not for attention, not for likes, but for legacy. So when the room is empty, he's working. When the energy is low, he's working. When nobody checks on him, he still shows up. Because the real measure of strength, it's not what you do in front of people. It's what you do when it's just you and the mirror. And here's the best part. He doesn't need motivation. He's not waiting to feel ready. He's not waiting for the perfect moment. He builds anyway, because he's not building a fantasy. He's building a foundation. Every representative, every late night, every hard decision, it's all part of a bigger plan. And soon the world will see what he's been building all along. But for now, he stays in the shadows. He moves in silence. He builds when no one is watching. And that is why no one will be able to stop him, because the man who needs no audience can never be shaken by applause. He's already solid, already ready, already built. There's a war happening right now, but it's not on the streets, not online, not in the office. It's inside of you, inside your mind, inside your thoughts, every single day. And the unstoppable man, he knows this. He's not fighting the world. He's fighting himself. Because the truth is, the biggest enemy you'll ever face isn't someone else. It's the voice in your head telling you, you're not good enough. You'll never make it. What's the point? Sound familiar? That's the real opponent. And the unstoppable man, he hears it too, but he refuses to bow to it. He wakes up with doubt. He feels fear. He questions himself, just like you. But here's what makes him different. He doesn't run from the battle. He steps into it because he knows. If you don't win in here, pointing to the mind, you'll never win out there. Let's be real. Everyone wants the success, the results, the freedom, the strength, but almost no one wants to wrestle with the inner demons that hold them back. You know what I'm talking about? That little voice that tells you to skip the workout, to delay the dream, to play it safe, to quit. But the unstoppable man, he's not scared of that voice. He faces it daily, and he pushes back. He knows this truth. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can always control what happens within you. That's where the real fight begins, and that's why most people stay stuck, because it's easier to blame the world than to battle the mirror, but not him. He's not looking for excuses. He's hunting for growth. Here's what he's learned. The mind is a battlefield, and either you take control of it or it controls you. He's trained his mind like a muscle. He doesn't give in to every emotion. He doesn't believe every thought. He watches his fears. He challenges his limits. He rewrites the story inside his head until it matches the life he's building. And here's something powerful. He doesn't need permission to believe in himself. He gives it to himself. He doesn't need someone to remind him he's capable. He reminds himself. Because he's learned, if you're waiting for the world to believe in you first, you'll wait forever. So instead, he becomes his own coach, his own motivator, his own fighter. You ever look in the mirror and feel like you're not enough? He's been there. But instead of staying there, he chooses to rise. Because every day he has two choices. Let the weakness win, or let the warrior speak louder. And he picks the warrior, even when it's hard, even when no one sees it. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you fought for you? Not your job, not your image, not your reputation, but you, your peace, your growth, your future? Because if you don't fight for that, who will? That's what the unstoppable man understands. He knows that strength isn't built in easy moments. It's built when your mind says, I can't, and you reply, watch me. He rewires his thoughts. He disciplines his focus. He controls his emotions, not the other way around. And when doubt creeps in, he doesn't panic. He smiles, because he's trained for this. The unstoppable man knows the fight never ends. But here's the secret. You get stronger every round. Every time you silence that voice of fear, you win. Every time you show up without motivation, you win. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you win. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. And that's the real difference. Weakness listens to feelings. Strength listens to purpose. So while others quit when it gets hard, he digs deeper. Because he's not fighting just to survive. He's fighting to become. Become the man who doesn't give up. Become the man who leads himself. Become the man who can't be broken. Because he's already battled his own darkness and won. This fight inside, it's the most important one you'll ever face. And it never ends. But if you commit to showing up for yourself, day after day, something incredible happens. You stop fearing the fight, and you start loving it, because you realize it's not holding you back, it's building you up. So if you're tired, if you're doubting, if you feel like giving up, just remember, that's the signal, that's the test, that's the exact moment when most people quit, but not you, not if you choose to become unstoppable, because the strongest version of you isn't found outside. It's not in money, or status, or followers. It's in how you fight your inner war and choose to win it over and over again.